In a surprising turn of events, Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg has made headlines with his recent comments on the escalating tariff situation under former President Donald Trump's administration. As the global aviation industry grapples with the repercussions of these tariffs, Ortberg's statements have shed light on Boeing's stance and the broader implications for international trade. Ortberg expressed that he is not too worried about the Trump administration's threats to impose tariffs on trade partners, including countries integral to Boeing's extensive supply chain. He emphasized that the administration is very focused on jobs, on U.S. jobs, highlighting that Boeing's production is primarily U.S.-based, with aircraft exported worldwide. However, the situation is more complex than it appears. Boeing's reliance on a global supply chain means that tariffs on imported parts could disrupt production and increase costs. Ortberg acknowledged that tariffs could lead to a continuity of supply issue, particularly for components sourced from countries like Canada. The impact of these tariffs is already being felt. China has reportedly instructed its airlines to suspend further deliveries of Boeing jets and halt purchases of aircraft parts from U.S. companies. This move is in retaliation to the U.S. imposing 145% tariffs on Chinese goods, with China responding by raising tariffs on U.S. imports to 125%. This development is significant considering China's importance as a growth market for Boeing. The halt in deliveries could redirect Chinese airlines toward alternative suppliers such as Airbus and domestic manufacturer Comac. Analysts warned that the ongoing tit-for-tat tariffs could bring U.S.-China trade, valued at over $650 billion in 2024, to a standstill. In the midst of this turmoil, Ortberg remains focused on stabilizing Boeing's operations. He has outlined plans to ramp up production of existing airplane models, with expectations to increase 737 production by 5 aircraft every 6 months and raise 787 production from 5 to 7 per month in the first quarter of 2025. Furthermore, Ortberg is working with the administration to expedite the delivery of 2 replacement presidential aircraft, better known as Air Force One. Despite Boeing having already lost more than $2 billion on the fixed-price program, efforts are underway to deliver the planes earlier than the scheduled timeline. The broader aviation industry is also reacting to the tariff situation. Delta Airlines and Ryanair have announced potential delays or rejections of new aircraft deliveries if tariffs increase plane prices. Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary indicated that the airline might postpone the arrival of 25 Boeing 737s scheduled from August, while Delta CEO Ed Bastian stated that Delta would not pay tariffs on the 34 Airbus planes expected by year's end. These developments underscore the far-reaching implications of the current tariff policies. As Boeing navigates these challenges, the company's strategies and the administration's trade policies will play crucial roles in shaping the future of the aviation industry and international trade relations. Airlines push back. Major airlines are already signaling resistance to the increased costs resulting from these tariffs. Delta Airlines and Ryanair, 2 of the world's largest carriers, have announced potential delays or rejections of new aircraft deliveries if tariffs continue to inflate prices. Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary indicated that his airline might postpone the arrival of 25 Boeing 737s scheduled from August, suggesting the company can wait until the following year for them. Similarly, Delta CEO Ed Bastian stated that Delta would not pay tariffs on the 34 Airbus planes expected by year's end and would defer any such deliveries. Global trade tensions escalate. The tariffs have not only affected domestic industries but have also strained international trade relations. President Trump's 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum prompted retaliation from Europe, which announced duties on $28 billion worth of goods ranging from peanut butter to metals. The president has also discussed 25% tariffs on imports from the European Union, which could prompt further rebuttals. These escalating trade tensions have led to concerns about a potential trade war, with countries imposing retaliatory tariffs that could further disrupt global supply chains and economic stability. Boeing's strategic response. In response to these challenges, Boeing is exploring various strategies to mitigate the impact of the tariffs. CEO Kelly Ortberg has emphasized the importance of stabilizing the company around its strengths and has mentioned the possibility of selling non-core segments to focus on core operations. Additionally, Boeing is working to accelerate the delivery of 2 new Air Force One planes, which are behind schedule and over budget, with the assistance of Trump emissary Elon Musk. Ortberg has also highlighted the need for internal focus and efficiency, urging employees to concentrate on the task at hand and avoid internal conflicts. He emphasized the importance of strategizing effectively to compete with rivals like Airbus. Conclusion: The imposition of tariffs under former President Trump's administration has introduced significant challenges for Boeing and the broader aerospace industry. From increased production costs and supply chain disruptions to strained international trade relations and potential delays in aircraft deliveries, the repercussions are far-reaching. Boeing's leadership is actively seeking ways to navigate these turbulent times, focusing on internal efficiency, strategic partnerships, and potential restructuring to maintain its position in the global market. In a recent development, Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg addressed the escalating trade tensions resulting from former President Donald Trump's tariff policies. Ortberg emphasized that while Boeing's production is primarily U.S.-based, the company is closely monitoring the situation to mitigate potential impacts on its global supply chain. One significant repercussion of the trade dispute is China's effective ban on imports of Boeing aircraft. This move has halted deliveries and disrupted Boeing's operations in one of its key markets. The ban affects major Chinese airlines and could lead to a shift in orders to competitors like Airbus, which has a strong presence in China. Latest news and breaking headlines. In response to these challenges, Boeing is exploring various strategies to stabilize its operations. Ortberg mentioned the possibility of selling non-core segments and focusing on ramping up production of existing models like the 737 MAX and 787. Additionally, Boeing is working to expedite the delivery of 2 new Air Force One planes, which are currently behind schedule. The situation underscores the complexities of global trade and the far-reaching impacts of tariff policies on major industries. Boeing's efforts to navigate these challenges will be closely watched by stakeholders worldwide. In the wake of escalating trade tensions between the United States and China, Boeing finds itself at the center of a geopolitical storm. The recent decision by China to halt imports of Boeing aircraft has sent shock waves through the aviation industry, highlighting the intricate web of global trade and its impact on major corporations. China's strategic move. China's suspension of Boeing jet deliveries is a direct response to the U.S. administration's imposition of 145% tariffs on Chinese goods. This move not only disrupts Boeing's operations but also signals China's intent to bolster its domestic aircraft manufacturing capabilities, particularly through its state-owned company. By limiting Boeing's access to one of the world's largest aviation markets, China aims to reduce its reliance on foreign aircraft and promote homegrown alternatives. Boeing's operational challenges. The halt in deliveries has immediate ramifications for Boeing's production and supply chain. Aircraft that were en route to Chinese airlines are now being redirected, leading to logistical challenges and potential financial losses. Moreover, the uncertainty surrounding future orders from China adds to the company's existing woes, including delays in the Air Force One program and internal restructuring efforts. Global implications. The Boeing-China standoff exemplifies the broader consequences of trade disputes on international businesses. As countries adopt protectionist measures, companies like Boeing must navigate a complex landscape of tariffs, regulatory changes, and shifting market dynamics. The situation underscores the importance of diversified markets and the risks associated with over-reliance on specific regions. Looking ahead, while the current scenario poses significant challenges, it also presents an opportunity for Boeing to reassess its global strategy. By exploring new markets, investing in innovation, and strengthening relationships with existing partners, Boeing can work towards mitigating the impact of geopolitical tensions. However, the path forward will require careful navigation, strategic foresight, and adaptability in an ever-evolving global landscape.